Hello. Hello there. Can we hear me? This is a problem that I keep having. I'm sure you can because I've used my microphone this morning. So I wanted to come on and say hello. I am Claire. I am the founder of the Sober Goals program. I am. Oh, here's my kids.
I can see two in your hands.
Who's watching? Who's watching? I've got two watching. Hello. Please tell us where you're watching from, and don't forget to say hashtag replay if you're watching on replay, so I know who's following me. Sorry, my kids are just pinching biscuits. So what a week to join. How exciting. And where have you been? Where have you been till now? I need to share with you my story. So I'm Claire. I'm a mum of two boys. I'm homeschooling like many of you. And I stopped drinking. My first day one was 3 years ago this month. I, like many women, enjoyed a glass of wine. Hi Alison, you're watching from Cambridge. I used to enjoy a glass of wine. I had a great time. I loved Prosecco, I loved gin, I loved all of the things. But I didn't like how it made me feel. I constantly felt like I wasn't living to the values and the life that I really wanted. I wanted to be outdoors. I wanted to do things with my family. I've got these, three boys. I've got a stepson as well. And I just wanted that whole, outdoor lifestyle. And I tried for a long time to have a family. And I think that because I wasn't blessed with children when I really wanted them, then I think I held on to my Prosecco, fun-loving image for that bit too long that I didn't want to be that person anymore. And then when I was blessed with children, I suppose what I did was I just created ways that I could continue to drink. So, I think the drinking at home became a problem more once the boys came along because we weren't going out. It was just, what started off would be maybe one bottle of wine on a Monday, would maybe have a day off on a Tuesday, something would happen at work on Wednesday, so we'd need to have a celebration or a reason to commiserate. Then Thursday's nearly the weekend, so you probably have a takeaway and another bottle of wine or two. And then Friday's the weekend, so you deserve to have a drink because it's Friday. Saturday would probably start drinking through the day, and that would just continue. And then Sunday, out for lunch with drinks. And it just started taking over every area of my life. And it got to the point where I was drinking to celebrate, I was drinking to commiserate, I was, when things went well, I would have a drink, when things went bad, I would have a drink. And I kept feeling like I wasn't spending my time or living my life how I really wanted to. And I feel like I had lots of messages from the universe to nudges, I want to call them, because I lost my dad at 46 and I was coming up to the age where I lost my dad. And my kids are just little, they're only 9 and 10. So I felt really strongly that I lost my dad when I was 20 and I still needed him. So I really felt like it was time to start looking at my health. I was fed up with all the aches and pains and mysterious bruises that I had. And if I'm honest, I had lots of blanks, like big blanks from nights out where I couldn't really remember what had happened. And not that anything bad had happened, I just had these big blanks where my memory should be. And that starts to eat away at you. And I think then came the time where I decided, right, I'm going to get a hold of this. And I decided to set all these rules for myself that I would just continue to break. I would say that I wasn't going to drink through the week, and then on a Tuesday I would be having a bottle of wine. And it slowly started to frustrate and irritate me, and I think I started to chip away at my partner and like hassling him if he was drinking because that meant that I had to drink. And it was like I couldn't grab control of it. And at the time, a friend came back in my life and you know, she had lost pretty much everything due to alcohol. And I knew if it had happened to her that it could happen to me. And I didn't want to wait until things got that bad. Now, she had been to a non-residential rehab centre, and I was just intrigued by what support was out there for a, you know, a sensible person who decides that they want to stop before they hit rock bottom. And I found there was nothing really there to support. I even spoke to my nurse at a smear test at my GP. And, you know, I told her that I was concerned with how much I was drinking, and all she was worried about was I smoking? And I said, well, I do have a cheeky menthol if I'm, you know, a couple of glasses of wine in, which, you know, many people do. And she just seemed worried about that. And I left feeling a little bit like I was given the green light to just continue. And I just suddenly felt like if you go to your shop, I took a photograph last night, I must share it. If you go to your corner shop, I went last night and to get some money out of the bank because we're getting a takeaway delivered. And there's a great big 7-foot glass of wine on the shop window. But you don't see it. It's like all of these little messages that go in, and then you wonder when you go to the shop for some milk why you come out with 2 bottles of red wine. And it's little things like that that I want to share so that women wake up and women think, why am I drinking? Okay, you might want to just keep it for special occasions. You might want to just cut down, you know, and that's fine. That's what this whole service is for. It's up to you. You could be on here in a group and you could be drinking 1 glass of wine and that might be too much for you. Or you could be, you know, really, really panicking about this, and maybe you're drinking whiskey and you want to change. It's your sober goal, and the program is to help you to identify where you're at, and that's what this process is all about. And the very fact that you're here means you're already at stage 2, because this here is every stage I went through. This is what I've created. So you start off stuck like Susie, right? Susie doesn't realise that the problems in her life are caused by what's in her glass. If you suggest to Susie that she stops drinking, she'll think you're crazy because she believes that alcohol is the glue that's holding her life together. Now, you guys who've joined this group, you are curious. You've stepped forward and you're thinking, maybe there's something here. So you're now at stage 2. You're Ollie and you're observing. And that's what this group's for. It's for you to observe other people and how they are looking at life as being sober. You're not doing without. You're not. I want you to forget about giving anything up. This is about up-leveling your life, and it's about being the best version of who you can be. And at the end of the process, you come up with your sober goals. So you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to think, oh, but I can't stop. Because once you've been observing and you find out why you want this, the only way to find that out is by observing other people who've already done it, who've got the thing, right? And then you become bold like Bessie, and maybe this is the time for you to take your step and say, right, I'm bold, I'm ready, I get it. Okay, I want this, and this is why. And that's when you take your step for your first day 1. And at this stage, you could stay there as long as you want. I've got a lot of people sitting in this group now who are at that stage due to my support. But after the lockdown's lifted, they're going to go out back into the world, and that's maybe where you're at, and you might be nervous in case you lose sight of the benefits. And I have many women I speak to every day who've been drinking a bottle of wine since March, and that's what they're worried about. They're committed and they want to do it, but they're worried about how they tell their friends. And that's this stage, right? This is Elsie. Elsie's engaging in sober life. She's going to the parties and she's having the difficult conversations with her friends. She's really looking at what benefits she's enjoying, and she's trying to work out how that's going to really help her and how it's going to impact life long term. And I think that's where I've been doing this, creating this business. And then you become rebalanced like Riley once you've hit your sober goal, or once you're on your way to your sober goal. And along the way, you're inspiring and you're encouraging other people, other women, to empower themselves. It's beautiful. And I'm so excited to share it with you. And the idea of the program is that it's a 45-day program. So day one, you would get your first email from me, and you have the option to hit reply. And so when you reply to me, we become sober pen pals, and I can really support you with what's going on for you. So are you at home drinking on your own because you're lonely? Are you drinking because he's drinking and you're thinking, well, I can't give up because he's drinking? Are you, I don't know, an empty nester, and the kids have left and you're at home with him and you're not quite sure what your life's going to look like if you don't have alcohol to meet up with your girlfriends? And that will really help me tailor specific support to you if you open up and share with me where you're at on this, right? So I just really wanted to jump on while I'm buzzing and full of my my program. I've been talking about it this morning with a journalist. It's going to be going in the newspapers, my story about how I've supported women through lockdown. I'm really, really proud of what I've achieved, and I just want to share it with everybody who's taken a step closer. The group is free. This group will always be free. I won't be able to show up as much as what I have been if I get lots of clients and lots of sober pen pals, hopefully. But I won't ever forget where it all started, and I'll be here to inspire and try and keep people who are already sober. But my main focus now is to get this out there and to get some people through it. I've had a handful of people from the group from this actual group who've gone through it, and they're all enjoying being sober. I think Angie's now about 70, nearly 75 days. I've got Samantha in Australia. I've got a lady in New York. I've got Louise in Newbiggin. I've got quite a few people dotted all over the world, and others that are obviously nearly ready to say, yes, I'm in, I'm ready to go with it. But if you're sitting on it and you're thinking, I want to do it, please use this opportunity. My prices will be going up. I'm going for for all of the PR that I can to promote this, because I want to change lives and I want to support the women who need my support now. So please step forward. If you think it's going to help you, take a step closer. I'll put my call details and everything on. We can jump on a call. I'm happy to just have a 10-minute chat if you want more details, and we can take it from there. 220, get in! Holding gently in the palm, it's taken so long. Loving you, it's nice. Oh, lovely to have you. In 220 days, that's amazing. And I think, don't be worried that it's like, go back through thinking, why did you want this? And celebrate your success. It seems like people's automatic reflex is to think that they should drink, and then it's like an effort not to drink. But the further you get away from it, and I'm not just, I wouldn't, if I didn't drink for 3 days, I thought I had no alcohol in my system. The benefits from this keep coming. Like, seriously, it's about 6 to 10 weeks without alcohol before your sleep improves. And once your sleep improves, it's such a game changer, because then you turn up with a different energy, things don't irritate you, and you can really find out what it is that's pissing you off and make the steps to change the thing in your life. For me, it was my business. I used to run a property business, and it was just really draining, and so much hard work and so much of a worry. And I don't know, I had that constant, I kind of got what I wanted because I had that brilliant thing of like passive income. I was making money whilst I was lying at home with a hangover, right? But I was a victim of my own success, because I thought that was living the dream, that I could drink as much as I wanted on a Sunday because I didn't particularly have to be at my desk on a Monday morning. But I would be lying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning just feeling shit about myself because I hadn't turned up how I really wanted to be. I wasn't living to my values. I was just drifting along and feeling frustrated and lost and uninspired, and like I was unachieving. And that's no way to live. You don't have to live like that. Sober's not about being boring. It's about taking control and, just take a step forward. If you're curious, if it's feeling like something that you want to find out more about, then please, please, please get in touch. Thank you so much for listening. That's me. I can't wait to see you all in the group. Any questions, just shout. All right? Bye from me.